I'm Jeff Matlow. Welcome to the best leadership podcast ever. Welcome back to the pod. Hey, I don't know if I told you this. I created and built 3 companies, and each one was acquired by a public conglomerate. I ended up then taking leadership roles in those public companies. So anyway, after a few decades of that, what I do now is I work with leaders to help them solve the biggest problems they have fast. Listen, I'm sure there are a few issues keeping you up at night. In fact, one of the things I tell employees to do, like the most important question in managing up, is to ask your boss, what are the 3 things keeping you up at night? So I want you to think about that. What are those 3 things that are keeping you up at night as it relates to work? And are you ready to get those resolved? I solve problems. I do it quickly, and I do it with a 30-day money-back guarantee. How about that? Huh? If you're ready to solve your problems, and when you're ready to solve those problems, reach out to me. Let's have a chat. We'll see if I can help. If I can, awesome. If I can't, hey, maybe I can point you in the right direction or give you some advice anyway. My contact information is down in the comments. I'd love to talk to you. At the very least, I love meeting new people and especially new listeners. And thank you, by the way, for being a listener. Because you get to listen to me ramble on about stuff, sometimes random stuff. Sometimes it's wombat poop or orange juice leadership. Today, though, I want to talk about Disney World. Have you ever thought about becoming a theme park character, a Disney character? I have. I actually have a friend who started off as a Disney theme park character. He's now in charge of operations at all the Disney theme parks. So there's growth opportunity in being a theme park character. I'd say that's a pretty safe assumption. But here's the thing, it is not easy getting a job as a theme park Disney character. In fact, less than 2% of people who apply get accepted for the job. To put this in perspective, it means it's twice as hard to become Goofy as it is to get into Harvard, Stanford, or Yale. Think about that one for a minute. So if you're one of the lucky few to become a Disney character, there's actually a whole mouse house of rules that you have to follow. And don't worry though, I'm not going to list them all here. What I mostly want to do is talk about the one Disney character rule that has always seemed extra special to me. It's this one. Whenever a guest hugs you, you never, ever let go of the hug first. So if that kid wants to hug you for an hour, you better bet you'll be standing there overheated in your furry, fluffy suit, hugging that kid until your legs cramp up and your arms feel like they're going to fall off. Because you need to keep hugging that kid until they, and they alone, decide that the hug is done. It sounds sweet, doesn't it? It is sweet. It actually should be a rule in life for everybody to follow, don't you think? Here's what I think you should do. I think you should start with your work life. Let me explain. First, imagine you're the kid going to Disney World for the first time. Bring yourself back. You finally see Mickey or Elsa or Winnie the Pooh or whichever character you adored the most. And when you see them, you're no doubt in awe because they're larger than life and they're headed right to you with a smile on their face and hugs ready in their arms. You've imagined this moment for weeks, right? You're excited, you're overwhelmed, you're in a fragile state of emotionality. And then you hug them. And suddenly, everything is good in the world. You feel safe, you feel secure. There's nothing that matters at the moment as much as being hugged by your favorite character. But then imagine, just as you're relaxing into that calm, the character pushes you away. Just as you've let down your guard, they walk away from the hug and leave you lonely and lost. It's over before you are ready. you're going to be pretty darn disappointed, aren't you? Maybe you'll wonder what you did wrong. You'll wonder if they even liked you in the first place. Maybe you'll even start crying. Now hold on to that feeling, because it's time to bring this scenario into work. You're a leader. Yay, you. People look up to you. They trust you. And one day, one of your people walks into your office, closes the door, and sits down. You can tell something's wrong. And they begin to open up about a challenge they're facing. Now, the challenge isn't what matters as much as the fact that you're the character they sought out to find comfort. As they're talking, you look at your texts. I mean, after all, you were in the middle of doing something. Maybe you glance at your email. You think of the meeting that's coming up. You want them to go faster, so you interrupt them, or maybe you just dismiss them and move on. Now, if you were dressed as Daffy at Disney World and you exhibited that behavior, you'd be so completely fired right away. But the business version of the Disney hug rule is simple. Don't break the emotional moment until the other person is ready and does it first. The best leaders don't rush that proverbial hug. They open the proverbial arms and embrace the emotions. They make sure when their team is talking to them, when they're opening up, when they're talking about their challenges, that team member feels seen, they feel heard, and they feel safe before you move on to something else. You're a leader. That's your job. Keep in mind, every Disney hug moment doesn't have to be a long, drawn-out, 1-hour conversation. In fact, a 30-second check-in while passing by someone in the hall can actually be as effective as a Disney hug moment. And this brings us to the 5-10 rule. I just learned about this gem of a rule recently from my friend Jerry. As I said, it's called the 5-10 rule, and here's what it means. Whenever you pass within 10 feet of someone, you should always smile, nod, or give some sort of basic acknowledgement. And when you pass within 5 feet of someone, it's your duty to always say hi. I don't mean a nod, and I don't mean just making eye contact, though that's good. You need to actually use your words, move your mouth, speak. I know it sounds basic, this 5-10 rule. It seems like a simple thing that humans should do. But most humans don't. At least we don't do it consistently. But you're going to change that, right? I know you are. I believe in you. So here's what I want you to do. Next time you're in your office or at a communal workspace, wherever you work, walk around. Pay attention to the reactions you get when you pass people. I guarantee that at least half the people won't even look at you when you pass them by. But again, you're going to change that, right? Keep in mind, this isn't just about being kind, though it is about being kind. The 5-10 rule is mostly about creating important micro moments of connection. See, a positive company culture is built on these consistently positive micro moments. Happiness is in the details. Sure, all hands meetings and leadership offsites are going to help boost morale, but those type of activities are kind of temporary tactics. Those feelings that you get from those big moments, they fade away after hours or days. That's why these micro moments are critical. That's why the 5-10 rule is important for your company. Just 5 seconds of genuine presence, consistently applied, is going to create the type of meaning and connection that will create greater happiness. It will increase productivity. People will like working at the company more. Because remember, building a company culture, a positive culture, isn't about what you preach. It's about what you practice. So start practicing the 5-10 rule. Now here's the bottom line. I'm not telling you to wear a Disney costume to work in order to follow the rules. I mean, it'd be awesome if you wore a Disney costume. May I suggest you do either Chip or Dale, because I'd love to see you at work wearing a chipmunk costume. Please send me photos. My contact information is in the comment. But anyway, as I said, a costume is not required. Here are the things that are required. Stay present in hard conversations until the other person talking really feels heard. Make room for emotions. Create a space where people feel safe opening to you. Be the person that they want to talk to. Be an active listener until the other person stops hugging first. Proverbially, of course. Smile at 10 feet, say hi at 5, and create those micro moments of connection. Remember, you're the leader. So it's time to put on your cartoon costume and act like it. Hey, if you want to build a stronger culture, go subscribe to the Best Leadership newsletter. The link is in the info below. Make sure you subscribe to this podcast so you get notified every Tuesday when a new one drops. I appreciate you showing up. I love talking to you. And I hope you have a great week. I'll talk to you next week. Bye.